and basketball analysis with over 70 years combined experience. This is the Bob Ryan and Jeff Goodman podcast.
NBA, some college, a little bit of everything.
You know, what can I say? But it wasn't going to happen here.
Well, it's that time again. Bob Ryan, Jeff Goodman, Tanguay along for the ride. Zoom and Pod right here on the CLNS Media Networks. And our exclusive daily fantasy partner of CLNS Media is Prize Picks. We are so happy to have Prize Picks, one of the largest daily fantasy sports platforms in North America, on board with us here with the Ryan Goodman, Tanguay along for the ride, Zoom and Pod. All right, guys, let's go to the Celtics last night. Are we impressed by that win, or did Golden State lay down? Jeff, I'll start with you.
I mean, how can you not be impressed by a 52-point win? I don't care if anybody laid down or not. They still, last I checked, they had Steph, they had Draymond, they had Clay. They didn't play a whole lot because the game was over early, but man, like, that was impressive. And like, I understand, but I don't understand Steve Kerr's kind of decision to lay off Jaylen Brown and let him shoot threes. Because I actually think I know you're nodding your head no. I'm only saying that because to me, he's a average three-point shooter. Now, again, he's average, but when you're shooting uncontested threes, he's not very average, right? Like, that number goes up obviously to 40%, or so. The hard part is when you're defending the Celtics, how do you defend them? It's not easy anymore. You have to pick your poison, even though, again, they're without Porzingis, and that's the crazy part. They won by 100 without Porzingis. So right. You're picking your poison, but you're taking away arguably the second best weapon offensively that the Boston Celtics have in Porzingis.
Let's back up, and you're right about Porzingis. When I found out, I started watching the game on TV at a restaurant, and found out that Porzingis wasn't playing. And I said to my wife and daughter, I'm not counting this game. If they lose, it doesn't count. I only count games where everybody's playing for the big picture. Now, that's only half facetious, by the way. Okay? So that's number one. Hey,
you won't be counting a lot of games. If that's the case, now back when you covered it full time, it was different. Now, if you did that, there'd be no meaningful games in the regular season, Bob.
I know. So that's my new joke about this season. Yeah. Okay. So the game was 21-21, which, and by the way, the story of the game was the scoring was being done by Kuminga and Moody. Yeah. And of course, and by this time, Steph had already airballed his first two threes. Okay. So, and then a 61-17 run is what ensued after 21-21. Okay. I looked it up, and guess what? They are the first team with 350-point wins in a season in the history of the league. Not surprised. And here's one for you guys. Because of folded in their 11-game winning streak is another 50-pointer, as you know, against Philly. Okay. They are winning by an average of 22.1 points a game over their last 11 games, which is an all-time record, such as it is. They are teasing their fandom terribly. Now, the expectation level, don't you think, is risen exponentially during this particular 11-game winning streak?
Oh, yeah. They got to win it. They've got to win it.
They got to win it. They got to win it for the fans, which is unfair to them because we all know it ain't that easy. No. And when the playoffs start, there's new dynamics. And this is
the worst thing that could have happened. This is the worst thing that could have happened to this. No, but it is.
No, I agree with you.
The prohibitive favorites. You don't want to be the prohibitive favorites going into the playoffs when mentally you haven't been able to get over that hump. Like, now, again, this could be great for them at the end of the day. This could be great for them. But now, tell me you're not a little bit concerned about this group. Now, again, they've got a couple men, at least, in Derek White and Drew Holiday, who's won one. So, thankfully, I like having Drew on this team more than anything else because, again, he could talk to him. They respect him. He's won a ring.
You're 100% correct. I am concerned, and I'm a little less concerned because I do like the things they are saying. I like
Sure.
what's coming out of Tatum and Brown's mouth. I want to believe that they truly get it the way they are telling us that they now get it. Okay. I mean, because getting it is what the issue is. There's no question of a doubt they're the most talented one to fill in the blank. 5, 7, 8, 9, because Cornette is not a stiff. All right. And now they got Tillman, who may be an asset.
I like him.
There is no question they have that Danny and Brad could have constructed a championship level roster.
Yeah.
But that talent is only the beginning in any sport. You got to have talent, but you need other components to win, including luck, including health. Now, health's a given. Everybody has health. So it's not just them. Everybody has to worry about somebody being hurt. So that's not unique to them. But they have but the expectation level among the fandom, and they're being fueled, I'm sure, by the talk shows, which I don't listen to, and so forth. But it's there for them, and we already agreed 3 months ago, three of us, that this is a now year for them.
Oh, this is it. You got to do it, because
they have everything going for them, and student experience. Once again, I'm going to point out to somebody who may be new listening to us. Think about this. There's not one guy in this team who matters is under the age of 25. They are all experienced. And
no, they're all in their prime now. They're all in their prime. Like, it's not like Jason Tatum's too young now. Like,
oh God,
he's matured. Well, he's matured now.
He has.
Yeah. So
that's the thing. This team, Al is the one guy who's older, but you know what? He's a role guy now, and he fits exactly what they need from a locker room perspective. The only thing you still worry about, in a way, is when things go bad, who's that vocal guy? Who's going to get him going? If things are going bad, they take a hit and they hang their heads a little bit, and it's gut time. Like it's
Well, and of course, there's going to be there's going to be something, some hurdle there, but it's. I say to the fans, which I remember saying back in 85, 86, enjoy the ride, enjoy it, exult in it, get the bragging rights over whoever it is that you want the bragging rights over, your cousin in New York, whatever the hell, something, and enjoy the damn thing, because they are playing beautiful basketball. I'll tell you what I love most of all, and this is like in the realm of taking Tatum and Brown as a given now. They're both so good. That backcourt, what a pair they are. They're like two professors.
It's a
like
pleasure to watch.
Professors.
Yes, because they're all about the right things. They play. I've said this. They're adults. It's like watching full-fledged adults who know how to play the right way. Don't give a shit about anything other than making the right decision to win.
And to get to this point, they each have taken a different path, because I'm sure Holiday was an acclaimed. Tell me, wasn't he an acclaimed high school player?
He was. So he was. He was pretty highly regarded going into UCLA. Can I give you his college stats coming out of UCLA? I'm trying to find him right now.
Sure.
Ready? You're gonna laugh. You're gonna laugh at this. Drew Holiday. Well, I mean, they're not as crazy. They're not as underwhelming as I thought. But he only averaged 12.5 points his freshman year. But he left after that. Like, I think he left after his freshman year. 12.5 points, 5.5 rebounds, 5.5 assists. It actually fits him.
Okay.
But it was like, why are you coming out now? Why aren't you coming back for another year to beat a guy? So when he came out early, I think a lot of people shook their heads because, again, he doesn't pass the look test. He's not going to pass the combine test.
No.
What he passes is all of this.
Right.
Everything up here. Drew Holiday is elite, and he's an elite defender. We know that. He's just like, give Brad credit. And again, I go back to this over and over. Brad Stevens' experience as a coach, playing against, having to actually be in the trenches and figuring out how to stop these guys, what they do well, seeing them up close and having to scout them gave him a major, major advantage with Derek White, with Drew Holiday and understanding the value and even seeing the way they are on the court with their teammates, things like that. Talking to people in the locker room, guys that have probably, and Brad's got these connections to college as well, where he could call Ben Howland, who coached him in college. He can call Tad Boyle, who coached Derek White in college, and they aren't going to feed him a line of bullshit. They're going to shoot him straight.
Well, speaking, let's get to the other guy for a second. I mean, who knew who he was coming out of high school? But he went to Division II, right? Yeah,
Colorado State Pueblo, I think.
Yeah, so that
or Colorado Pueblo, Colorado.
Yeah, so but his path has been one of upward mobility all the way, But boy, has he learned this lesson. And thank you, Pop, for whatever you provided for him, because that was an education for him. That was a perfect place for a guy like that to go. A guy that I'm sure Pop saw that I could coach this guy, and this guy is coachable, and I'm obviously, oh my God, so anyway, it's a wonderful, it's fun, and please, I just beg people, just enjoy it, and don't get too cocky yet.
Right.
They have to prove it, but they do have to
setting the parade. You're not setting the parade quite yet.
Not the date. I'm not setting
the doc.
We don't have the route. No, we don't have the route planned just yet. That'll be next week.
Football season may be over, but the action on the floor is heating up. Whether it's a tournament season or the fight for a playoff home court, there's no shortage of high-stakes basketball moments this time of year. Get in on the excitement with Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy sports app, where you can turn your hoops knowledge into serious cash. Testing my skills on Prize Picks this season is the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. If you have the skills, you can turn $10 into $1,000 with just a few taps. Prize Picks is really simple to play, and I can make my picks and submit my entry in less than 60 seconds. Download the app today and use code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100. Use the code CLNS for the first deposit match up to $100. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy.
Okay, 40,000 points for LeBron James, Mr. Ryan. Since you're the resident NBA historian.
It's a staggering number. It's a staggering number, and I can't do any better. I urge you to go pick up or go online, whatever. USA Today, Jeff Zilgett's got the whole breakdown of what it means, of what the scope of it is, and how incredible this achievement is that he's done this 40,000. I remember when I'm old enough to remember when Bob Pettit became the first 20,000 man. And we thought that was something, huh? You see, let's get right to it. This has also triggered the LeBron haters. Are you aware of this?
Oh yeah.
The LeBron haters. This is aggravate. This is fuel for them because he didn't win as much as Michael, and hasn't won as many as Michael, and the reasons that people have manufactured to hate a guy who I think has done the right thing more often than not. Get over the decision. The decision was 14 years ago. So get over the damn decision, please.
It was nothing. It was
get over it. Yeah. But there are people who will manufacture reasons to dislike LeBron James as a basketball player. That's preposterous. That's preposterous. And I think one of the things that was also on outline, he's 4th all time in assists.
Right.
Huh?
Yes. Good note.
He's the male Caitlin Clark. So no, I mean, come on. I salute him. All right, and the way he's playing right now at this level, and we don't know when it's ending. He doesn't even know when it's ending. So I mean, I think it's worthy of great congratulations.
All right, so can I give you some numbers here? I just looked at it. Tatum right now has 11,408 points through his first 7 years. He's 25 years old. LeBron, through his first 7 years, 15,251 points. Right. So he's basically almost 4,000 points ahead of Tatum. Now, Tatum's going to score a little bit more this year.
Yeah.
So let's say he's 4,000 points at the end of the day, a little less. He'll be like 3,500 points ahead of him in 7 years. And again, to play this long at this level, nobody's ever going to do it again. Nobody's
Well,
ever
I
going
thought
to do
That's the
that.
thing to me. The longevity is
Yeah.
blowing me away because I thought just with plain science he would
His
break
body.
down.
His body.
I thought his body would break down just with
Correct.
age, and
We
it's
all
not.
did. But you know what he does? You know what he does? He is absolutely maniacal about his workout routine in the
Right.
off season. Maniacal. And
Has to be.
but it is crazy. Like the dude's body has held up and he's that big and strong. And you would think it's just going to take like one knee injury. Like he hasn't
Shin
had
or
one.
something, nothing.
He hasn't had anything, right? What's the most major injury he's had?
I don't
I
know.
don't even remember what. I don't remember.
I mean, he
Right?
misses more games because of load management.
Yes, but nothing major, knock on wood. And I don't know, can he beat Tom Brady? Guys,
Why not?
Could-
Why
could he
not?
beat Tom Brady and go to 45?
At some point, you'd think he'd have to reconcile himself to a lesser role, but
But
now,
why?
I-
If he can keep doing it,
I
Bob,
know. You'd think, but you're right.
why?
I've never seen anything like this. So
Correct.
we never
He's
seen anything like
he's a freak of nature. Why can't at 45 he plays 65 games? What I don't know what he's played this year, what he'll be on pace for, but like everybody, why can't he play 60, 65 games and then the playoffs and still be averaging 20 a game?
Well, it's remarkable, and I just, but the haters are out there, and they're always going to be out
Which
there.
is so stupid. It's so dumb.
Yeah, it's ridiculous
Haters.
because
The guy's handled himself pretty much. He's had one poor decision and how he handled the decision. And other than that, what can you really get on LeBron James for?
Well,
Yeah,
no,
he bitches
anymore.
to the refs. Everybody bitches to the
they
refs.
all do.
Not anymore. Look, he's had to me, the distinctly two halves of a career. There was because he did have to,
Sure.
and the way he had to learn how to win, in my opinion, was to take advantage, was to recognize that he's the best player on the floor and act accordingly. Because he did shrink in 2010. He basically quit against the Celtics, and he did shrink in 2011. I'd love to know, something had to have happened between the end of the 2010-11 and the beginning of the 2011-12 seasons, because after that debacle against the Mavericks, either he figured it out or someone got to him that he would listen to say, look, LeBron, you are the man. You must take over. And he did not do it in those two seasons at playoffs. He's done it ever since. He's done it. How about that game last week with the fourth quarter comeback? That was vintage at 39. No, so he had a catharsis somewhere along the way, and I'm just point that out. That's all. But you know how long ago that was? Well, 13 years ago. So I think that's, which is longer than most people's careers by a lot.
Right.
This is the second phase of his career.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yep.
you can go on and on and on and on with it.
Look, when you're hiring for a small business, you want to find quality professionals that are right for the role. Not just anybody. That's why you have to check out LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn Jobs has the tools to help you find the right professionals for your team faster and for free. It's important. You want to have quality candidates to interview. And with LinkedIn Jobs, it makes it so easy to find them. LinkedIn isn't just another job board. LinkedIn has a vast network of more than 8 billion, that's with a B, a billion professionals, which make it the best place to hire. It gives you access to professionals that you can't find anywhere else. LinkedIn does all of that while making the process easy and intuitive. Hiring is easy when you have so many quality candidates. So easy, in fact, that 86% of small businesses get a qualified candidate within 24 hours. LinkedIn knows that small businesses are wearing so many hats. I mean, you have a lot of jobs to do, right? While you're growing. And you might not have the time or the resources to sit there and do the hiring. LinkedIn is constantly finding ways to make the process easier. They've even launched a feature that helps you write job descriptions, making the process quicker, easier, less of a hassle. 2.5 million small businesses use LinkedIn for hiring. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/scribe. That's linkedin.com/scribe to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply.
We have to get to another important topic, right, Gary?
Yes, we do. Jeff, Bob's not going to talk. We are. Bob wrote a phenomenal article. He has covered an athletic event in all 50 states. He spoke about it. It's in the Boston Globe. It is a must read.
Yes.
And more than ever, because whenever I read a Bob Bryant column, I always hear him very loudly. And this was the same.
Yeah.
It was if Bob, and I'm sure it's a great article and you need to read it. What'd you think, Jeff?
I mean, awesome. And again, I kind of knew Bob was doing this because I knew he needed one more state for a couple of years now, and it was South Dakota. And he texted me and said, I'm going to South Dakota for a basketball game. And I put 2 and 2 together right away. I helped connect him with the head coach there at South Dakota State, Eric Henderson, who's a hell of a coach. And I just wanted him to roll out the red carpet for Bob on his final state. So he had dinner. I think he had a pretty good experience there, saw a great game. And yeah, I mean, the column to me, I learned a lot. Like, I didn't know, Bob, that you were in Columbus, Georgia for a year living there. I turned down a job out of college with a Columbus newspaper because my wife basically said to me, like, I can't live in Columbus. I can't live in Columbus, Georgia.
Yes.
That wouldn't have gotten us to the altar, my now wife. So it just, like, I read this and I was like, wow, like, I didn't realize a lot of your background and exactly where you had been and your mom and all this stuff, how big of a sports fan she was. I knew your dad was, and I knew a lot of his background, but you know, again, it's just to have covered a sporting event in all 50 states. Like, I look at it now and I'm like, I want to do it, but it's hard to get to Idaho. It's hard, you know, what are you getting to Montana for and Idaho in some of these places? So really, really cool. I'm sure for you, this was like a ultimate bucket list thing that you wanted to cross off, because I don't know how many people have done this.
I just have to say, Bob, before you, and you can respond in a second.
Mm-hmm.
I just have to say, I think it's your greatest achievement. And that says a lot, because obviously, as a contributor, or however, I know you're uncomfortable with this, but you're in the NBA, you're in the Basketball Hall of Fame. As a contributor, you know, journalist, right? You've covered, I don't know how many Olympics, I don't know how many Super Bowls, I don't know how many NBA championships. You vote for the Heisman. You're a phenomenal author. But to me, this is your greatest achievement because it is the purest and it is the essence of what you do.
Thank you very much, my guys. I really appreciate your thoughts here. The truth of the matter is that this wasn't a lifelong quest, although there was an erroneous headline to that effect in the Globe. It happened organically. It's just the life that I've led. It never dawned on me until around state number 47. You know, now I did want, no, really, wait. First of all, I wanted to get to all 50 states and forget sports, which we did. We went to Alaska in 2016, slept in Alaska. I've now been to and have slept in all 50 states. Okay. Now that's part B, the sleeping in. That's a big part of the deal. Okay. So I've been to all 50 states. When I got to like 47 or so around there, I'm thinking, wow, you know, this wasn't a bucket list thing. The bucket list, as you know, not the bucket list, but the list, the question is gyms, as arenas, college. I've been to 205 arenas. This was my 205th arena or venue. I call it venue. All right, fine. Now, but not specifically, and it's attended or covered, not covered. It's attended or covered. You know, gone as a fan or covered. Okay. When I got to 47 was Delaware. And I went to the Blue Rocks minor league baseball. Okay. 48 was Alaska when we went for the 50th state and my 70th birthday. And thank God Alaska Fairbanks was home against Concordia. So I could knock off a sporting event there. And then came Ole Miss football. I had never been to an event in Mississippi. I'd only crossed over the border whenever I was in New Orleans. I had no other reason to go to Mississippi professionally. Got that done. And then it was 50. And when I needed the 50th, I went to Matt Pepin, the Globe sports editor, last fall. Said, I said, I got 49. If I get 50, would you be interested in the story? Well, you saw what they did. I thanked everybody. I thank them profusely for the presentation. The online presentation was spectacular. The Sunday
They sent a photographer. They photographer.
They hired a photographer in
Yes.
Brookings, South Dakota, who just followed me around all night,
Yeah.
and they treated it. I'm so honored and flattered and thankful and grateful. But this is what I think more about it now. You mentioned my mother, and I just want to point out, the thing about it was that my father died when I was 11 on May 10th, 1957, and the following September, she and I are sitting in Municipal Stadium in Philadelphia at the Army Notre Dame game, which was a very historic game, the resumption of that rivalry after a 10-year period. And the point is that Mary Ryan understood what sports meant to the kid, to Bobby, and she made sure that I was kept in the loop, that she didn't abandon it. Had my mother been indifferent to sports or ignorant of sports, then who knows what would have happened? I'll be honest.
And might never have had Bob Ryan.
No,
you might have Bob Ryan, the teacher.
She gets a lot of credit for the way she approached, her little boy after her husband died.
Yeah,
Congratulations,
really cool.
Bob. It is a hell of an achievement.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Your passion. I mean, the one thing is your passion. I'll leave it after this, Gary. Like, to do this when, again, you're on assignment for games, for whether it's Final Four, whatever, other assignments, Patriots game, anything, and you're trying to find a college hoops game in the area, and you're just going.
Never fails. Never. Every time that was what I'll admit to that one. Yep. And I wanted as many of them as I could get, and I'm up to 205, and I hope I'm not done.
I got to catch you. I got to try to catch Bob. I don't know if I can do it.
Gonna be tough, kid.
I know.
Bob Ryan, Jeff Goodman, Tanguay along for the Ride Zoom Pod. Brought to you by our exclusive daily fantasy partner, CLNS Media, Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the largest daily fantasy sports platform in North America. Good job, fellas. Talk to you again.